Do you know the difference between grasshopper and locust? All locusts are grasshoppers, but not all grasshoppers are locusts. Locusts are specific grasshopper species that physically transform and swarm when population densities spike. Behavior and social phase. Grasshoppers remain strictly solitary throughout their lives, living independently without forming organized swarms. Locusts have two distinct behavioral phases, a quiet solitary phase and a highly aggressive gregarious phase, triggered by crowded conditions and elevated serotonin levels. Physical characteristics. Grasshoppers maintain a consistent body structure and coloration, typically green or brown, designed for camouflage. Locusts undergo morphological changes in their gregarious phase. Their bodies change color dramatically, often to bright yellow, pink, or dark brown, and their muscles and wing structures expand for long-distance flight. Mobility and agricultural impact. Grasshoppers move primarily by hopping or taking short, localized flights, causing minimal localized crop damage. Locusts form massive, dense swarms capable of flying over 100 kilometers, 60-plus miles, per day on wind currents, consuming vast fields of vegetation and threatening food security. Species count. Grasshoppers, over 11,000 known species worldwide. Locusts, only around 20 species, possess the biological traits necessary to transform into true swarming locusts, such as the desert locust. The biological shift from a solitary grasshopper to a swarming locust involves unique biological and environmental mechanisms. The serotonin trigger. Physical touch. When rainfall creates localized vegetation patches, locusts crowd together. The physical friction of their hind legs rubbing against each other triggers a massive surge of serotonin in their central nervous systems within 2 to 4 hours. Brain remodeling. This neurochemical spike rewires their behavior from mutual avoidance to active attraction, causing them to group together and shift into the gregarious phase. Appetite and swarm scale. Daily consumption. A single adult desert locust consumes its own weight in food every day, about 2 grams. Mass destruction. A small swarm covering just 1 square kilometer, about 40 million locusts, can eat the same amount of food in a single day as 35,000 human beings, destroying crops, pasture, and farmland. Phase reversibility. The transformation is completely reversible. If a gregarious swarm is dispersed, or food sources become widely scattered again, the locust's serotonin levels drop, and their offspring revert to the solitary green/brown form over successive generations. Nutritional and ecological value. Protein source. Locusts are edible and highly nutritious, containing roughly 50% to 60% crude protein by dry weight, along with essential fatty acids. They are a traditional food source in parts of Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. Natural predators. Birds, lizards, wasps, spiders, and small mammals feed heavily on solitary grasshoppers and non-swarming locusts, helping keep baseline populations under control before swarms form. Egg laying. Female locusts drill their abdomens up to 10 centimeters deep into damp, sandy soil to deposit egg pods containing 80 to 100 eggs. Flightless hoppers. Before they grow functional wings, young wingless nymphs, called hoppers, form massive ground bands. These dense marchers can advance up to 1.5 kilometers, about a mile, a day on foot, stripping all ground vegetation along their path. Sensory biology and sound creation. Abdominal ears. Both grasshoppers and locusts hear using tympanal membranes, eardrums, located on the sides of their first abdominal segment, tucked under their wings, rather than on their heads. Stridulation, sound production. Grasshoppers produce their characteristic chirping sound by rubbing tiny pegs on the inside of their large hind legs against the hard veins of their front wings. Driven from behind, swarming locusts stay in continuous motion, partly out of fear of being eaten by each other. When protein sources become scarce within a dense swarm, locusts at the back will bite and consume the locust in front of them, driving the entire mass continuously forward.